Hello guys, it is me again and I am called SubZeroExtabyte, and once again this is a video especially for you because I love you. But today we have a very special video for all of my loved ones because we are playing Survive Bendy. And well, at first thought, you might think, what the hell is that? Well, that is what you are going to experience in this video, and I will guide you through it. Well, first off, Bendy. What the hell is a Bendy? Don't worry guys, I had the same thought when I saw this server. But Bendy is a character. To be specific, he is a devil-based cartoon character that looks a bit like older cartoon characters because he only has two colors, which are black and white, as you are going to see in this video a lot, because he is a very aggressive little man. He has a cheerful looking expression with kind of a look like Pac-Man because of his eyes. He is a little bit chubby, but he does not care because he likes to eat things and he loves spaghetti. That is one thing that we can be certain of. His teeth are looking like a bit of a grin on his face, but that represents his hunger towards food, and spaghetti in particular. The man wears very cute black shoes that are pretty darn cool. He also has a pretty darn cute booty, because he is a stylish man and he likes to represent that with a booty. And that is absolutely cool because he totally rocks the rock. He also has some gloves that Mickey Mouse also wears, and they closely resemble Mickey Mouse his gloves, because the look that the gloves have, the white big gloves with some black buttons on it. And if you look at his head, he has a devil-shaped haircut which actually represents cartoony horns. Well, actually, very little is known of Bendy, his personality. His appearance looks like a happy character that looks a bit like a 1900s Mickey Mouse cartoon or something. He still looks a bit odd, but he is a pretty cool guy, that is what I am sure of. But if you are still wondering what the hell I am talking about, I'll sing you a little song that has been remixed so it is extra cool for you guys. And it is named Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I will sing it to you because I am actually very good in the act of singing. Okay, are you ready? Here it comes, mate. These pipes that flow from the ink machine give life to our little friend moving on the screen. He's got two pointy ears and can be seen moving in the halls behind the scenes. He's listening and always moving, following and choosing, standing and improving. Then one day you pulled the spring and you reanimated our little Bendy. Bendy and the Ink Machine, in a way you've never seen. Bendy and the Ink Machine, better watch out or he'll make you scream. He's got a friend named Boris that loves to play that good old music from the day in a big large band with all of his friends. The clarinet was there for him till the end with a hoot and a toot, that's all he played. But now he's put up on display, waiting to be animated with no heart, but that's a story for another day. Bendy and the Ink Machine, in a way you've never seen. Bendy and the Ink Machine, better watch out or he'll make you scream. The creators, they lied to us, created us for the gods to please them and make things right and settle up all the odds. We were never supposed to exist in this dimensional plane. Now we suffer. It's all your fault and you will know our pain. Pain. Bendy and the Ink Machine, in a way you've never seen. Bendy and the Ink Machine, better watch out or he'll make you scream. Bendy and the Ink Machine, in a way you've never seen. Bendy and the Ink Machine, better watch out or he'll make you scream. I hope you liked my singing because I was actually thinking about participating on one of those. Show us how you sing, and if you are really good you can maybe win something. But we are going to make a show out of you because you joined this program and now we have the rights over you, and no, we will show the world how you do your stuff. So yeah, that is very, very nice, mate. Still wondering what the hell a Bendy is? Well, it is that thing that runs around and is hunting us and wants to eat everyone that ever ate spaghetti because that is his favorite meal. But we are playing with all kinds of Roblox players that enjoy spaghetti, and some of them like the carbonara kind, but personally I am more one of the bolognese people because I enjoy that more than the carbonara because I am not really a cheesy person. But sometimes if I am in the mood I do enjoy me some cheese. But I can still hear you think, Sub, what are you saying, that you like cheese? I still do not know anything about Bendy and the Ink Machine and I want to know, but you are just talking about cheese and spaghetti. To you, my man, I say, well, you are in luck because I will tell you some more about Bendy himself, and I will lay down my spaghetti bolognese and tell you something about this little chubby aggressive Mickey Mouse. Alright, well, where did we leave the story? I told you something about his appearance, but you saw him a couple of times in game now, so you probably know what he looks like. But I was right about how he looks, right? Yeah, that is what I thought. What else? Oh, I sang you a very nice song that was written and remixed, And personally I think that I am totally the next candidate of the Eurosong Festival because that Portuguese guy did not make a thing from it. But a lot of people disagree because it was actually really nice to some of those people that liked it. But anyway, this Bendy and his ink machine that the guy really likes is a game where you play as Henry, whom is an animator, and he gets a strange note which is an invitation to his old workspace. It is an animation workshop that goes by the name of Joey Drew Studios, and that name is obviously made up by the owner of the studio that is named Joey Drew. Well, anyway, let's get on with chapter 1 because I get distracted really quick, haha. But when you arrive at the place it seems empty and deserted, and the place is run through with large ink pipes for some reason. When you are exploring the deserted place, Henry finds the titular ink machine and he was very happy with that. Some crazy stuff happened and he found a weird looking dog, but it was actually Boris the Wolf. And Boris the Wolf was one of the cartoon characters appearing in Joey's cartoon posters. But our hero searches around the deserted workshop to find some items he needs to power the machine. A couple of those things are of course the manual because otherwise he does not know how he is going to install all of the parts. And it will end up like buying something at the IKEA and then you need the help of your dad and then you both don't understand and you do the thing that seems the most logical, but with doing the thing that seems most logical you are actually ruining that thing that you bought because it was not meant to be constructed like the most logical way. But he needs the manual, and when he has the manual he also needs a Bendy plush for some reason. Maybe he wants to cuddle with it, I don't know. He needs a cog. That is one of those things that are in a machine with all the spinny thingies. You probably know what I mean. He needs a record because he is going to sing a song because he can sing as well as I can do. He also needs a wrench, which speaks for itself for what it does. And he needs an inkwell. But as he is restoring the power to the ink machine, Henry gets attacked by one of those cartoon versions of Joey's, but not just attacked on paper or anything, but he actually gets attacked by a living ink version of one of the characters, and his name is Bendy. Well, Henry desperately tries running to an exit, but as he is running the wonky floor starts to collapse and our poor Henry falls into a secret underground room. Luckily for Henry there is an axe that he can use to defend himself with. In this game that we are playing in the Roblox we only have a flashlight, so no axe for us sadly. But our Henry enters a strange room with 3 coffins and a pentagram painted on the ground in ink. And if you don't know what a pentagram is, it is one of those things that is basically a 5-pointed star shape, with all of the lines visible. And if you still have no idea what I am talking about, it is one of those Satan star things where they sacrifice stuff for odd reasons. And it is also used on Morocco's flag. So that is a fun fact for you from me. But yeah, one of those things is made out of ink on the ground, and as you do, Henry did as well. He approached the pentagram, but then a strange thing happens. Henry gets flashbacks of the ink machine, a wheelchair and one of them Bandys are standing with him by his desk. While he is behind the boarded up staircase he passes out in the middle of that staircase. Well guys, that was chapter 1 called Moving Pictures. Let's get on to chapter 2 because you are probably wondering what happens next because we left in a kind of cliffhanger. Well then let's get on with it, shall we? Henry awakes on the staircase and begins to find more evidence of Joey and the musical director named Sammy Lawrence, who wears the mask of Bendy and appears to be covered in ink. It seems like he is trapped in the studio now. Lawrence went insane and began to worship Bendy as a form of appeasement. He believes that the cartoon devil is a literal demon. Well, that seems a bit crazy to me, mate, but go on, do your own thing. Henry then ends up in the music department of the entire studio. He follows clues off tape recordings that they some time ago recorded to maybe find a way out of the studio, because he had enough of it and like a normal human being he wanted to go home and relax at home. While our man is trying to escape, he finds some scary blobs of ink that form themselves into human form and they are not friendly at all, because they try to attack him. Those blobs are called the Searchers. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of scary because it is mysterious. After draining that pool of ink downstairs, he has now been knocked out by Sammy Lawrence, and Lawrence binds the poor guy to a chair and explains to our Lord and Savior Henry that he needs to sacrifice him to Bendy to be returned to a normal human being. And when Bendy arrives he kills Lawrence instead, which is a pretty dumb decision to be honest. But of course, Henry now sees a way out, and he escapes. Eventually Henry loses his axe as he tries to cut through the planks so he can flee, and live a normal happy life with a happy ending. But of course, things do not go his way and Henry is walking through a hallway filled with ink when once again Bendy appears, and is chasing him to the door that leads into another door, and when he goes through that door our favorite character, Boris the wolf appears. But then chapter 2 ends, which is a sad thing because that was the last chapter. But maybe we can create a third chapter from our minds and pretend that there actually is a third chapter. It may not be in the actual third chapter. Probably not at all, because we thought about it and it is an actual legit producer, so he does what he wants because it is a video game company and they normally do what they think is best. And 9 out of 10 times what they think is best is definitely best. But anyways, where do we start? Oh, yeah, well, we walk through a door and Boris the wolf, that looks like a dog, appears. Well, where do we start with that? That is an amazing start. Well, let's say that Boris is actually friendly. Just because he is a wolf would not make him angry all of a sudden. Maybe he is a nice wolf. And in the story that I am about to tell you, Boris is actually a nice wolf. And Boris can talk. And what does he say to us? Well, he says that there is a way out, but it requires a key. And that key is somewhere, but they don't know where, so they have to find some kind of map of the place. And luckily for Henry, and also luckily for Boris, the friendly wolf knows just where to go. As they go along with their journey through some hallways, they are going towards the office of Joey, and Boris thinks there should be a map there from all the things that were installed when they built the place. And he is actually right, because when they enter the room, Henry sprints towards the desk and opens a couple of drawers without any luck. But then he opens a safe which is for some odd reason unlocked. Maybe Joey wants us to get out, who knows. But on the map, there is not really any sign of where the key could be, but there is a place that is a bit vaguely pointed out. They both think that there is a chance that the key is there, but the problem is that it is outside and they probably need to dig a hole in the ground, and they cannot do that without going unnoticed by Bendy. But they do not give up, because if they do not proceed with this plan, Bendy will eventually catch the two. So, the two made a plan. They will go to the janitor's place that is basically on the other side of the building. They go together because they think that going together makes them a team and they could potentially fight Bendy off. They do not have any weapons, but Boris has claws, and that makes him think that he can maybe fight Bendy off while Henry punches him or something. But that is not the plan for now, but that is plan B. Just in case they see Bendy and Bendy sees them. So now they need to cross some other hallways to get to the janitor's corner. They are at the last hallway and they just heard some crazy steps around the hallway. They do not know what those steps were. Maybe it was one of the blobs. They were relatively easy to defeat, and now that they are with the two of them, it should be easy peasy cake. But they carefully walk towards the door and Henry goes in first. But what he sees there is a bit crazy. It is a sad looking mouse that is covered in ink. Well, as Henry is a kind guy, he tries to get the ink off the little guy and help him out. But little did Henry know that that was actually a trap set up by Bendy. It was one of the blob thingies, and it starts to scream really freaking loud. And Bendy knew what was happening if that mouse started to scream. They heard a loud bang from somewhere on the other side of the building. That was when they knew that they had to run. If not, Bendy will catch them, and the following you can imagine. They quickly grab a poopy shovel that looks like it has been used for the last 2 ages. It looks really dirty and it is a bit broken, but hey, it still is a shovel and they can use it, so that is what matters. Henry now has a shovel and Boris is a bit skeptical about what is going to happen next. As the two run towards an exit to the yard, they hear footsteps coming closer and closer. So they need a place to hide, because if they do not, they are going to get caught. And they know that there is a very big chance that they will lose the fight that is going to take place if they get caught. And it is not particularly pretty. They see some creaky door that has been slammed its entire life, it looks like. They do not yet know where the door leads to, but they take the risk. There are some mouse traps there, but they manage to not step on any because they are placed a bit everywhere, but you can easily walk around them like it is nothing. But it is a hallway that leads to somewhere. It looks like the hallway is heading down like some kind of bunker or something. It is a pretty long path that the two need to walk, but they feel safe, and that is what matters. They finally reach a place and there is a sketchy door there. They do not know what the door will lead to, but neither did they know where the door that they just entered lead to. But they carefully open it, but it takes some pushing because it is a heavy door made out of metal and stuff, so you need to push good. Henry cannot take care of it himself, so he needs some help from Boris the wolf. Of course, Boris is willing to help and they eventually manage to get the door open. The room is completely empty. They look at the map that they gathered from the office and they do not see the room on the map. That is a bit strange, Boris says to Henry. They try to not think that it is some strange room where they are going to get caught, but they do not know what is going to happen yet, and that fear is the worst. But then he sees a black light that has been thrown against the wall, it looks like. What will happen next? We won't know, because that is the ending of chapter 3. And another fun thing is that this is also the ending of this video. Coincidence? I don't think so. Mystery? Maybe. Hotel Trivago.